Good day, everyone. My name is Maria Erica Silapig, and my group mates are Jonalyn Rio Florido, Malu Maria Luciana Ramirez, and Danielle Raimundo. Our research title is Channel of Learning Tourism's Virtual Life in Moodle.
Chapter 1 Introduction, Moodle has made a significant contribution to the educational sector by providing an involving platform for virtual learning management systems, which has become the de facto standard for most educational institutions across the world. One reason is that it meets the needs of a VLMS by providing active resources to keep grade books, construct competency-based learning plans, track learning, manage communication spaces, and manage the evaluation process through various pedagogical tools. For background of the study, an older study conducted an investigation to compare Moodle versus Blackboard in instructions and learning management systems. The researchers implemented Moodle-based as a learning management tool for Otago Polytechnic University instead of the traditional Blackboard. Of course, teachers, students, and IT administrators noticed the difference. Questionnaires and surveys were then collected to gather feedback and make conclusions. Classes were then delivered using the Moodle-based system to students who have been always taught and managed traditionally. Theoretical framework. This study was based on the article of Growing Up in the Australian Outback in the late 1970s. Moodle's founder and lead developer Martin Dojamas took lessons from the School of the Air, giving him from a young age an insight into distance learning. Using Moodle in teaching develops learners' communicative skills in language and requires social interaction between the teacher and students and among the students themselves. Sirac also argues that blended learning with computer-based learning in a Moodle e-learning environment based on social constructivist learning theory is an effective tool for teaching and learning in the occupational health and safety discipline engages learners in sophisticated interaction through communities that transcend geographic barriers.
Conceptual. The first component model is input, which includes the profile of colleges students according to their year level, courses, and the internet accessibility model. The second component is process. This part is the administration of survey questionnaires, organization of students' responses, and the statistical analysis of data. Finally, the last component model is the output, which is the assessed level of satisfaction of college students in the use of Moodle as an online learning platform. Statement of the problem. The purpose of this study is to discuss the use of Moodle for the first year to fourth years BSTM and HRRO students in ICI Santa Maria, Bulacan of the school year 2021 to 2022. Specifically, it sought answer to the following questions. First, does the students have access to a device for online learning all the time? The second one, what are the other devices that can be used in distance learning? The third one, how did the school respond to the problems that students encounter during the new learning? And the last one is, how effective Moodle as a learning platform? Hypothesis. Dealing of first to fourth year BSTM and HRRO students in Moodle learning channel system to the traditional learning system. Embracing and engaging of faculty members of Tom's department in Moodle learning channel system to the traditional learning system. Scope and limitation. The study consists of students who are using the Moodle as an e-learning. Only 50 from first to fourth year BSTM and HRRO students of ICI College as are respondents to this study. In this study, we focus on how the advancement of alternative learning was used by the students in their education. Significance of the study. This study may be significance of the following. The students would also benefit from using Moodle and whether their performance and other interpersonal that complement their face-to-face classroom experience could be enhanced through the use of Moodle as an online learning environment. The teachers who also use Moodle to teach their students and guide them on how to use some new way of online learning. IT administrators is responsible for managing the Moodle site, upgrade, plugins, installation, reports, and integrations. Parents, they let their children use Moodle maybe to provide parents, mentors, tutors with permission to view certain information. For the last is, this study also benefit for the researchers and the future researchers to be able then to recognize the advancement of Moodle as an e-learning when they conduct a study. For the definition of terms, the first one is papers and projects. The second one is discussion on the course concept. It is a chat window or a discussion section can be introduced to discuss the topic or course discussed on the site. The third one, forum relating to the course. The fourth one, conduction of quizzes. The fifth one, distribution, collection, and evaluation of assignments. The sixth one, keeping track on the class attendance. And the last one is recording of grades. It is similar to keeping track of the attendance of the students. The teacher can accumulate and keep track of the grades provided by him or her to each student through tests, quizzes, and assignments by using the database site.
Good day. Chapter 2 Review of Related Literature and Studies. This chapter deals with the related previous literature and studies conducted by different researchers to strengthen the conceptual background of the studies. The rise of online learning. The pandemic has caused schools, universities, and businesses to operate remotely, which has resulted in an increase in the use of online learning. Online learning common struggles for diverse learners. Students who were familiar with speaking with an instructor and asking for assistance in person must now send an email and wait for the professor's virtual office hours. Students who excelled in the classroom are now required to do school activities exclusively on a computer or other gadgets. Problems of online education. About 60% of world population has access to the internet, smartphones, and other gadgets, while others don't have. These teachers that use traditional teaching methods have never worked with the technology have also issues. Students struggle to understand the topic and frequently seek help. Current opportunities and challenges on COVID-19 in education. The significant in our present understanding is the areas where the internet and access to digital devices are restricted or non-existent. Online learning a panacea in a time of COVID-19 crisis. E-learning tools have played a crucial role during this pandemic, helping schools and universities facilitate student learning. The affordability and accessibility of educational tools for all learners of varied economic background has been noted as a challenge. In local related literature, students worry about online learning due to the slow internet connection in the Philippines. The Commission on Higher Education admitted that the weak internet connections, particularly in the provinces, make online classes unviable. Colleges, universities not required to delay school opening. The Commission on Higher Education stated that the colleges and universities are not obligated to delay the start of their academic year. Philippine children are left behind by poor distance learning. Problems with internet access and getting modules have been bogged down schooling for low-income households. Common problems that occur during online classes. As we all know, Philippines is a country with limited access to the internet. Although there are internet plans available, they are not all made equal. Back to school challenges for the Philippines and responses from around Asia. The main barrier to overcome in public and private schools across the country is learners and teachers' access to gadgets and data. The majority of these are self-funded. Unstable software, internet slowness, and power outages are all usual technical challenges. Let's proceed to related studies. Using technology for teaching. The study discussed the use of several teaching and instruction methods as needed to minimize the cost of growing class size, limited resources, and diversity of class subjects. Web-based tools provide many ways to increase communication between class members and faculty. Enhancing the language learning. Learning a secondary language is a complex ordeal mainly because of different challenges that a person or group of people trying to accomplish. Moodle as an online learning platform. Moodle is a learning management system. In general, it is considered as a freeware, which means it is relatively free to use. A study about using e-learning platform, particularly Moodle, in university teaching process. Moodle can be used in universities in various purposes, both in full-time and part-time learning, e-learning or blended learning, both in the initial and continuous formation, but an internet connection should be provided. The use of Moodle e-learning platform. The Moodle represents one of the most widely used open source e-learning platforms, which enable the creation of a course website, ensuring their access only to those enrolled students. This platform allows exchange of information among users through mechanism of synchronous and asynchronous communication.
The difficulties in remote learning, according to Erwin E. Rotas and Michael B. Kahapay, most educational systems across the world have migrated to remote learning modality as a measure against the spread of the coronavirus disease. The phenomenon is causing a lot of difficulties, especially as voiced out by students in the context of developing countries. This paper attempts to describe difficulties in remote learning of university students in the Philippines in the wake of the COVID-19 crisis. These are the result of content analysis revealed in the some following categories. First, unstable internet connectivity, one of the most recurring difficulties experienced by the students in the remote learning is unstable internet connectivity. Most of the time, this problem is caused by geographic location and other times is compounded by the weather. The second one is inadequate learning resources. Another difficult that repetitively appears in the responses of the students is the inadequacy of learning resources. Most students use only phone and need other resources. Others have a challenge in terms of the storage capacity of their available gadgets. The third one is electric power interruptions. Furthermore, since remote learning relies on electronic gadgets in this context, the students were challenged with electricity interruptions. This is especially difficult in areas where regular interruptions occur or such interruptions are unexpected. A move to Moodle, a perspective of academics in the College of International Tourism and Hospitality Management. Information and communication technology is used to strengthen the pedagogical skills and fortify teaching and learning across all areas of the curriculum done in a classroom setup. It is highly stressed that the implementation of Moodle is not a technical migration from an old system to a new one, but rather an opportunity for the university to transform the incumbent model of teaching. Moodle can be used to integrate a course with online activities that both teachers and learners can use to increase the efficacy of learning and competence in ICT.
Chapter 3, Methodology of the Study. This chapter presents the method and procedures used by the researchers in order to answer the specific problems identified in the Chapter 1. Methodology refers to the analysis of methods used to appropriate to a field of study. Research method. For our research method, we use quantitative and descriptive approach. Quantitative approach was implemented because it can be used to find patterns and averages and make predictions, while descriptive is used to describe characteristics of a population or phenomenon being studied. We aim to determine the effectivity of virtual class for the tourism management students enrolled in Immaculate Conception College of Arts and Technology in Santa Maria, Bulacan. Participants of the study. The subjects of the study are the first to fourth year BSTM and HRRO students of Immaculate Conception I College of Arts and Technology, academic year 2021-2022. We will interview 50 students, 10 participants each year. Research instrument. In this study, we will use interview through survey questionnaires. Surveys involve collecting information, usually from very large groups of people, by means of questionnaires, but other techniques such as interviews or telephoning may also be used. Validation of survey. The survey questions will be checked by our research advisor before we execute the interview so that we can improve and revise it first. Administration of survey. We will be conducting our survey through administration of survey. We will be conducting our survey through Google Forms to be sent to our target respondents. Statistical treatment of data. To determine the channel or alternative way of learning for the first year to fourth year BSTM and HRRO students in ICI Santa Maria, Bulacan of the school year 2021-2022, we will assess the frequency counts and percentages will be used for the number of respondents. Also, weighted mean will be utilized for descriptive data as interpreted below.